What do you know? What do you know? Good to see everybody. Another week is upon us. Welcome to Crypto After Dark. I'm glad to see everyone. Welcome back. It's Tuesday, December 20th. The year rapidly approaches the end. A little bit closer every single day. Fresh back after family vacay. Feeling pretty darn good. Hope everybody else is doing well. We had another really gnarly week in crypto, didn't we? The weekend was good to us. Those of us who are ready for this down. If you were expecting up, you kind of got your heart broken a little bit, didn't you? You're expecting up, I'm sorry. If you expected up, you got your heart broken a little bit, didn't you? Well, we were expecting down. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. Crypto After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. Hit the like button, hit the comment buttons right down there and talk it up. You can also subscribe and hit the notification bell while you're here. Why not? If you like it. If you don't, well, that's fine. You don't have to hit like. They're free. Don't cost anything here, though. Right? You can just hit like just like that. Boop, boop, boop. It's very easy to hit the like button. Why not? The more we get, the more likes push us up the algorithm chain, the higher up YouTube flaunts us and shows us the real world for everybody else to come and learn a little bit more, get a little bit smarter. We're going to talk about the total market cap, Bitcoin tonight, the top assets. We'll kind of go through a few of them and see what's happening. A lot of chitter chatter about a certain few assets, so we'll go look through those. People are still freaking out about stable coins because everybody's worried about the government and everyone's worried about this and that. I just stick to charts. You guys already know that. So let's go say hey to everyone first, and then we'll get it. All right. What's Win freaking Mullet? Win freaking Mullet. Good to see you, brother. So the sky's falling, the chart's falling, the snow's falling. Santa falling too? Well, he did in the movie and Tim Allen replaced him, remember? Big Tex, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Picking Facebook and Twitter fights today. Bro, I honestly didn't start it. Just people come at me every once in a while. Charts are down. What better time than now? Yeah. You know what? Someone else told me, they said, I think you would get a lot more people listening to you and following along if you weren't so snarky and mean. And while I tend to agree with them, what I've found is those who can't handle the truth in a very straightforward and stern manner aren't really the people who need to be following along anyway. You prefer to have some chick with big boobs tell you what to buy, or some dude who's stuck on this one particular asset to tell you when to buy. Not I said to fly, for I have no wings. If you can't handle it, over there's the door. We keep it real over here 24/7. Another day, another fight for 2 or 20. Exactly. What's up, brother? Educated dummy. Good to see you. Jeremy Monroe, not even drunk yet. Dynamis, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Jeremy Monroe, hanging out there doing his thing. Adam Man, good to see you. Crew Jones, what's up, brother? Rope-a-dope, good to see you. Cryptotron, what's up, Jeremy? Crypto Joe 77, falling knives everywhere. And you are dead on the money about that. There's only a few that aren't. Oh, look at those two. JD Crypto, good to see you. Frog with a hat, what's up, my brother? Jag, good to see you. Cycling Cotton, family vacay just starting for me. Okay, I see you. Let's do it. Minor Mike, what's up, Keith? Love the streams. Good to see you, brother. Glad to see new people on here. If you're new on here, you never talked before, jump in the comment section and talk, dude. You never learn, especially if you have questions. If you have questions, please ask them, because you never learn unless you ask, right? That's the best way to learn, is just simply asking what we call questions, okay? And you'll get answers. We try to give answers to everything here. I miss them sometimes, and that's my bad. Papa freaking Nick, good to see you, brother, up there in the winter wonderland of New York. It sucks. What's up, Lunatic Prophet? Good to see you. We're here to make money, not friends. We make friends along the way. That's right, Mullet, but we're here to make money first. One of the biggest lessons Mullet taught me, brother. Thank you for that, because we wouldn't be here if you didn't. You can tell them to get off the rails nicely if the train is coming in hot. Why so soft? Exactly. It just comes down to people not a couple things, right? Number one, it comes down to people not having the intestinal fortitude to understand that I'm trying to help you. So you take it wrong, right? That's first. Secondly, a lot of people just have that social meter of, well, you're on the internet, so I can say whatever I want. All right. Just because you're on the internet doesn't mean I can't figure out where you are. It's actually relatively easy. The internet's loaded with information. As a matter of fact, you give your location away most of the time. So be careful when you bump those gums, because you never know when I might show up. How about that? Been traveling the last couple years, so don't play games. That's not a threat. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Let's get into the charts. First things first, Bitcoin, I've got it pulled up here. Still dancing around that 50 fib, which is right here, as you see. That's the monthly 50 fib from the bottom to the top. That's 2020 to 2021, the end of the bull market, okay? Or 2022, whatever. The end of the bull market, not the point. So it's retraced right at 50% from the top. All right, from the overall move back down 50%, not from 67,000, right? From the bottom to the top of that 2020 to 22 move, right? We're about 50% fluttering around in that range, okay? We've lost half of all those gains. They're all gone. We lost half of everything. And that was if you bought it perfectly, which, let's be honest, most people didn't. So, still floating around 16.2, 16.250. All right, right now we're at 16.8, which is not bad. Not bad. You really need this thing to get back over 18.7 here. And why do I say 18.7? Well, that's that same resistance level that we never quite broke. In fact, we got up here and kind of tickled it a little bit. We didn't break it. Not good enough for government work. This is not a great look on the charts. I'm going to show you what I mean here. This move that you see played out already. It took, what, from June till October. Sucked. Remember that? All that sideways? Everybody super hated it. You had this move up, this move down, this little sharp move, one more move up, and then big fall, right? Okay, well, you have the same thing playing out here, just on a lower scale. Not quite as large, same move, though. You have your run up, your move down. You're going to get your little sharp move right here. I think 17.3 makes sense, right? 17.3 makes sense. Little fall down. One more move back up to make another lower high. And then I think we get on with our fall here. I'm not sure how long this takes because I don't like to be, a fortune teller here. But it's either going to be by the end of the year or Q1. And the reason I say that is what I'll show you next. All right, so we have this little bit of a bear flag that it made right here and failed, right? Well, now it's kind of back tested the bottom of that. Not great. And I'll carve this out so you can kind of see it here. A trend line as such. No, I didn't draw that perfectly. I just kind of drew it there so you could see it, right? That trend line failed. Since it's failed, it's now under it. Dancing around under it is not good. You don't want to dance around under resistance. That's never a good thing. You never want to dance around on the bottom side of a trend line. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so we can see it a little bit better. There you go. I'm going to grab the bottom of this trend, all the way at the very, very bottom with my Fibonacci retracement tool, which is right over here. I'm going to grab the very bottom and I'm going to pull up to the top. And I'm going to use the trend line that's built into the Fibonacci retracement to mimic that trend line that I just drew, at least get close, okay? So from the bottom to the top, right here's the top, and I'm going to drag this over to that trend line, kind of makes sense, which is about there. Fair enough? Fair enough. Cool. So what do I see? I see that we came down and we hit the golden pocket. Very cool. We came down and we tagged that golden pocket level and we immediately popped back up. Now, what do I need to see this thing do in order to invalidate the rest of this down and start moving up? Okay, first thing I'd like to see it do is break this 50 fib to prove that it's ready to get out of this zone and move up, which it hasn't done yet, okay? Not quite. It failed it, as a matter of fact, so far. If it can get out of this zone, next zone up will be right here around the 382. But at that time, it'll be time to pull a new Fibonacci retracement from this high to this low here. Haven't even gotten to that point yet. Not even worth worrying about. Okay, so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. More so, what's key here is the time that we have. The reason I pulled this the way I did was the trend line follows. It broke the trend line, and the end of this Fibonacci retracement's right about here, right? Okay, that is December 28th. You have 8 more days for this thing to decide to do what it wants to do. It's either in the next 8 days going to fall way down here, okay, or that doesn't happen and we move up here toward this zone up here. You got 8 days to decide. After the 8 days, this fib set is kind of over and it's time to pull a new one, all right? And the reason is this one's very simple to validate and see that we're probably accurate with our fibs. It may go all the way out to the 31st, right? Maybe I didn't pull it just perfectly. Maybe that's a little better, and that comes out to the 30th, 31st, or the first of the year, the new year, all right? That would give it an extra couple days to play out and do what it needs to do. We're going to find out very soon here the outlook for the next couple weeks, all right? If it can stay up and try to make a run back up here toward this red line, well, we'll find out. Hasn't proven it yet. Is it going to fail, roll back over, and drop below this bear flag that it formed back here? I'll be honest with you, solid possibility of that happening. So, sitting dead sideways at the moment, making the exact same pattern that it made up here, as we just talked about. One step at a time. Let's see how it plays out. I don't care to buy right now. While some altcoins have made very, very aggressive moves down, Bitcoin's still sitting there fluttering, not doing too much. All right. I don't believe that altcoins will go without it. And if they do, they'll get battered down pretty quickly. Just my opinion on that one. All right. I'm leaning toward down here, but I'm going to show you the up also, just in case I'm wrong. All right. Now I'll go back the other direction, starting high. All right. And then pulling back down to this 618 retrace that happened. Yeah. If I pull the trend line now, this thing has pretty much stayed above it. It's kind of almost impossible to see if we've cleared that out or not. While we did hop over the 236 fib, we really haven't done much else since. Kind of floating between 236 and 382 and this trend line, if that's even pulled correctly, which it may not be. All right. Honestly, I think this thing kind of floats sideways some more, and I don't think we've perfectly found the trend here. I think this is still too early to be determined. You have to go down to super low time frames, and I don't think that's going to look right. So I don't think that's the case. But key levels that I'm looking for, if it does reverse up from here, is going to be this 17.3 range right in here. That 17.3 range just so happens to coincide with some other resistance. All right. Let's pull this fib off since I've already drawn the box, and I'll zoom back in here. You can see it a little bit better. All right, so grab my trend line tool here. Right about here, we have some resistance, right? And it failed it along the way. Right about here, we have some resistance. Currently failing it now. To get through this is going to soak up momentum, all of which would be under that same trend line that we have drawn back here. Simply put, prove it. Prove it to me. If you can break it, you can break that resistance and sit on top of it and make support, cool. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. Now, if we step back for a moment and we see the bigger picture here, we still have a very ominous looking chart on a high time frame. Very ominous look on a high time frame. I'll pull the fibs off so there's less stuff to look at. We already know about this resistance line here. I don't think I need to remind you about it again. This is one big, gnarly, ugly falling wedge that hasn't finished playing out yet. I think everyone can see that falling wedge. Doesn't look great. In the event that this does break north, which I don't think it will do, you're hard capped at 22,000, 23,000, and that's going to absolutely destroy the RSI and soak up every bit of buyer momentum that the bears will allow you to have. And if you don't understand what I mean, the bears are very much in control with all this downward pressure coming through. Bulls are only getting short-term moves at best. Feels good because they're finally getting something. This is just them loading up, trying to make some extra money before the actual cycle starts, which hasn't begun yet. All right. I still see these lower targets being a goal here. I don't know the exact time of when they happen. Okay. That's still yet to be determined. Again, I think either by the end of the week or sometime in January, something like that. We're going to see the final stages here of this thing falling as far as it possibly can before it hits the floor. All right. I still like these lower levels I've got drawn out here, somewhere between 13,000 and 12 to 10,000, 13, 12 and a half, 10. Those three levels seem to make sense to me. And if you look, We're not that far away. We're really not. It only takes a couple candles to make that happen. And if you think that can't happen, I'll ask you to look back in history and see that, yes, that can happen. And before you think no one else can possibly be liquidated, you're wrong. You're wrong. There's plenty of people to get liquidated. You just don't know what you're talking about. All right. Let's answer some questions real quick. Let's see. Adam asked first to hit like. Let's go. Big text. Tough love is what we need these days. Unfortunately, that's correct. You get that because you work in a shop. So you understand what tough love is and what it does for you, right? It builds a thick skin. But bro, the world is soft as Charmin. And investors are soft as Charmin in crypto. Now, the real ones aren't, right? But there's a lot of them that are soft as Charmin. So one step at a time, right? We can't save them all. We can only try to pull as many out of the water as we can. That's kind of my outlook lately, right? We need to make money on our friends, correct? STRFCK3R. I can't understand what the first time here looking to learn. Good to see you, brother, and glad you're here. Thank you. Can't pronounce that name. Talking and accepting the truth is a sign of maturity. Absolutely it is. But you're going to find a lot of immature investors in this world. Russell Thomason, good to see you, brother. Alexander Marks, why we use the wicks on the bottom of the wedge? Why not use candle closes? That's a good question, Alexander Marks. Well, what we've found through simple analysis over the years, you're going to find a lot better prediction on price action if you use the wicks, not the candle bodies. The wicks were actual price action. Things really happened at that time. Discounting what happened is kind of like taking the data out of the equation and saying, well, I don't really need the decimals. Think of it that way. Think of it as not using the decimals and change. Let's say, you bought a coffee for $4.17. Person behind you bought a coffee for $4.37. Another guy comes in and buys one for $4.96. Everyone just says, no, they were all $4. Well, you add that up, that's another $1 and a half. All right. That's 30% you missed right there based on not worrying about the wicks. Put it that way. I like to include the wicks on everything I do, especially Fibonacci retracement. That comes with a caveat. You must be careful when you're using the wicks to make sure that the chart that you're looking at, whether that's Poloniex or Binance or an index chart, whatever it is, you need to make sure that those wicks match other exchanges, because every once in a while, manipulation does happen on a particular exchange and you'll see very, very odd wicks. So I don't use those. I use wicks instead because we've come up with, quite simply, better data using the wicks. It all comes down to the data, nothing more. We use candle bodies here. We create a bit of a bias. And when we create a bit of a bias, we end up being wrong because we become emotional in what we're doing. We don't ever want to be emotional with this stuff. We want to wipe out the emotions and strictly 100% look at the data. That's why I use wicks for almost everything. It's just what I've learned over the years that works better, honestly. Tried candle bodies. I've tried pulling retracement to candle bodies only. You're going to miss price action. You just do. And it starts to add up after a while. And once it adds up after a while, you start to miss things. The more you miss, the more people notice what you miss. The less people are going to pay attention. The less people who pay attention, the less people you can help. There you go. Both can be used. Typically, we use wicks on the higher times. Thank you, Mullet. It's now a good time to get into crypto. It's a good time to buy stable coins, sure, and be ready. Frog with a hat. Thank you. No, thank you, brother. Good to see you. Benjamin Eggert says that. Is it a good time to get into crypto? So you're not at a bad time because you've got near the bottom here. The thing is, there could be another potential 40 to 50% losses coming up. And I don't want anyone to get suckered in and get immediate punch in the face with losses, right? Now, you'll make those back fairly rapidly. So it's not an awful time. It's not the perfect time. We're getting close to the perfect time. Honestly, by the end of the month or the end of the next month and a half, I think we're going to have the best time to get in. I think you're going to be very close to the bottom. Now, I don't think it's all going to be up from here. I think 2023 will be our lull period where we'll get a bit of up and it'll smooth out and kind of flatten and maybe come back down some before 2024 when things really take off. And if you don't know what I mean, there's an entire cycle that goes behind this. I'll show you that cycle now. All right. I'm not a Bitcoin fan, particularly. I don't own any Bitcoin. And honestly, I've never held Bitcoin for longer than a couple weeks, ever. Okay. But it's important to understand that none of this would be here without Bitcoin. Bitcoin relies on halvings. Halvings maintain the mining cycle. All right. Every time mining happens and gets to a certain point, the rewards are cut in half. And while that may sound awful to you, it's a supply and demand factor. All right. Why do PlayStations cost more at Christmas time? Because everybody wants one, nobody can find one. So the price goes up. All right. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Once a certain number is mined, the rewards are halved. Now it's harder to get that same Bitcoin. There is a demand for it. We know this. So price goes up. This has happened 4 times previously. All right. And all 4 of them line up very similarly. We'll go all the way back to the very beginning. First bull run peak. Here's the next halving in 2012. And as you see in between there was a midway point. There was capitulation. There was a summer rise before halving. And then the next year after halving, we had another bull market. Halfway through the bull market, marked in purple, bull market peak. Halfway through the bull market, after the bull market peak, we hit this bear market. Comes all the way back down to this midway point. Halving happens again in 2016. Right here was that summer run up. Same little summer run up, summer little move there. All right. After that, we got another bull run, halving, halfway through halving, still going up, bull run peak. And if you notice, all these happen around the same time, right? Aside from the first one. Midway point, right around January or December of an even number year. All right. Bull run peak, December 13. Midway, this one starts getting a little weird, and then it kind of evens out. March. Halving happened in June, pretty much the same as always. Bull run peak, December. Midway point, March again. Halving, May. Bull run peak, December. Oh, crap, didn't mean to grab that. And here we are again. This cycle happens over and over and over again. Along with that, we have retraces where the price pulls back, originally 92%. The second time, 87%. The third time, 84%. Fourth time, we haven't quite got there yet. We're getting close. Close is not good enough. Close only works for hand grenades, horseshoes, and nuclear weapons. All right? So we're getting closer. We're not quite there yet. I think the best time is soon. And I hate that word, but I think it applies. I think the logic applies for in the next between 2 weeks, month and a half. I think we're going to get what we want. All right. And as you see, that midway point doesn't really end until February. And the next halving is predicted in May 2024. We will get some up movement before that. And likely, like I said, 2023, we'll get some movement. I don't want you to think you're going to be rich overnight, because whoever might have told you that lied to you. That's not the way it works. Hopefully I made that as plain as I could. And I know I skipped around a bit, but I'm off my game a little. I haven't been on the computer in a while. All right, let's see. Yeah, thank you, Mo. Let's hit that like and sub button. Thank you. Best way to hold stable coins while we wait: USDC, DAI, and a hardware wallet. Yeah, so I have all of my USDC on a ledger. I rock a Ledger Nano S. They're cheap and easy to use. It's not that complicated. Ledger's got some new stuff coming out. Looks pretty cool. I'm not going to buy it because I'll probably break it. I'll just go with the old school Ledger that was $40. And I keep all my crypto on there when I'm not doing it. I'm exchange agnostic. I don't really care. There's a lot of exchange blah, blah, blah going on right now about who's failing and who's not. Honestly, it'll play itself out. When this bull market starts back, everybody's going to start making more money again. This, that, and the other. People are worried about the government. I don't care about that. I can't control any of it. So why worry about it? Bro, hit the pause button and move on. You can't change anything. So why are you stressing on it? Now, I think things will change soon. And when they change, I'm going to be all over it. I've got a massive list of coins ready to buy. Got a new video coming out in the next day or two here explaining another move I'm going to make. Things are looking on the up and up. I'm excited, y'all. I'm ready for this. I hope you guys are too. I'm not scared by any of this stuff. It doesn't scare me anymore. This is the second bear market that I've been through. I'm fully prepared. This time we knew the bear market was coming. So I was prepared, and I'd stashed up a bunch of money and ready to rock it, ready to rock this time. I want to double my money in 2023, at least. I think I may do that. I may even get farther than that. And if I can get farther than that, like, I don't even want to think. Like, that's a crazy number to me. So If I can get farther than that and do 200%, that would floor me because I'd have a ton of money for the next bull run. And I would be looking to invest more than I realized I would. And I can make more exponential, larger growth numbers. That's my goal anyway. I have plenty of other coins I want to buy as well. I really want to diversify out this time. And I've got some really, really cool plans. I got a lot of spreadsheets made up and paperwork ready for myself to jam out when the time comes. Just not quite there yet. And listen, I'm happy to tell everyone when it is. I just can't bite yet. This is the way I see it. Let me jam through some other ones real quick. I said I would. Ethereum looks better than Bitcoin. Still looks bad. Same kind of thing where it's just making steady lower highs. Hasn't really done anything spectacular. I need to see you break some goals here and get through some stuff. And if you can't, it's just getting exponentially worse. This is setting up a really, really gnarly chart. Hopefully this week continues to be up for Ethereum, and that'll get rid of this 3-candle pattern, this three reds equal down. We've had it happen before several times. You get 3 red candles in a row, it usually gets bad. That flips Heiken-Ashi candles over. Don't want to see that. If this leans over like 1,000, and if the 1,000 happens, give me 800 after 1,000. If it can't maintain it, 800 to 700 makes sense. Anything lower than that to about 650 would be a blessing, and I'd be happy to pounce on that. A lot of people ask about Quant. Let's look at that one. And I want you to know that this looks very similar to a couple other charts. She's made a head and shoulders here. It don't look good for the home team. If this fades and fails, it's going to be nasty. All right. There's a chance this holds out at $96. All right. If this fades and fails, she's coming back here to $58, roughly $50. All right. Where I thought it may come back to begin with. When I got a lot of crap talkers that come after me on the internet. It may not make it there. It may just hang out and stay at 96. And as I said, that fib looks like it's trying to run out of juice. It may run out honestly, by the end of the year. If it runs out by the end of the year, then it's liable to hold $96. And I don't think this one really fades and folds over until the end of 2023, when I think we get this next leg down. It'll be, something like this, right? In the end of 2023, and then we'll move up. But I can't be for sure on that. That's just guesstimate, and I'm trying to get as close as I can. I just really don't like the look of this head and shoulders right here, okay? That looks bad to me. If it can't hold out, it's going to get ugly. Just be careful. The dollar index still floating around under the 50. It better get moving quick. If it doesn't get moving quick, it's going to fade, fall, and fail. 3 Fs. Fade, fall, and fail. And I mean fade, fall, and fail down to about $102. Eventually, I think $1 makes sense, which is 100. $1 flat makes sense. Up to 114 was obviously insane. There's still a chance this thing goes to 120. I mean, if they come out and decide that they're going to continue this quantitative tightening for a very long time and not change anything, I think eventually this retrace stops and we roll back up. And if that's the case, it's going to pull crypto down with it. My hope is that doesn't happen. My hope is this omnibus bill, their bullshit they're trying to do, makes them want to print money and be stupid. And if that's the case, we're going to move crypto right on up to the range where I want to see it go. Binance coin, similar look to Quant, not quite the same, but close. A little bit of a broken head and shoulder where Quant was very clean head and shoulder. I think the same thing happens here. This thing may just consolidate out, run up in the summer of 2023, peak out, fall at the end of 2023, and then we rise up here. I still like around 200 to 180 for Binance coin at some point. I hate to be predictive on this one too. I can't be. I don't want to be cute and try to get funny with this. I think it's best just to let it play out. Morpheus network, let's just like this one as well. All right. How's Tail coin doing? Let's have a look at Tail. I think it looks a lot like this, by the way. Yeah, looks similar to Binance coin and Quant. Same kind of play out. Bouncing under the 50 fib, not good enough. Better get moving. If it doesn't, it's come back down to 001, which I think is a fair price and would mean that it kind of holds out steady there and may not fall much farther than that. It's one of these that kind of looks like Binance coin, Matic, Quant, Morpheus network, and a few other ones. Have I ever looked at Caspa? Yes, we have several times before. Let me pull it up here. It's on MXC. Yeah, we've looked at this before. We've done this on the live stream before. Still riding a downtrend. Nothing to write home about yet. Still playing a very ugly game of no, I don't want to go up, and I'm in a downtrend. If it rolls over and falls, which it looks like it may want to do because it keeps making lower highs, about 0042 makes sense. How much percent down is that? 20? It's about 20%. 20% to 40% would make sense. That would put us down to around that range at 004 flat. That's if Bitcoin makes another leg down. That's what I would put Caspa. But honestly, there's no support there once it breaks past this level. It better hold this level at this red line. If it doesn't, it's coming all the way back down to 002. And it'll look similar to some other coins that everybody loves, but they don't want to hear the truth on. Can you look at Hedron? Never heard of that one, but I'll look. Then we got to get off here. Hedron is one of those deck screener coins. So I'm not going to do it today. I will do it tomorrow because I don't particularly like to look at deck screener stuff. So many scams on deck screener. I don't want to put it on here until I look into it a little bit, because when I promote scams, people rip me apart for it. So thank you all for coming. That's 41 people we had. I think we got to 48. Thank you all for watching. Tuesdays are always happy and cool to me. I like coming on here and doing it. We'll continue to come on here and do that until they tell us we can't anymore. Thank you all for watching. We're back tomorrow, live Wednesday. I don't know if I'm going to make the 2 p.m. or not. I'll try. I may have to bump the time up different. I got kids. We got holiday stuff going on. I'll do my best. Thank you all for coming. In the words of the late, great, notorious B.I.G., you could have been anywhere in the world. It chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. Thank you all. I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Visit 786unlimited.com. Sky's the limit. Peace.